Before we begin, I want to ask you to subscribe, not out of obligation, but because this message might be the one you didn't know you needed. But walked through the same darkness you might be feeling right now. I failed, been judged, and left behind. That's my truth, my ethos. But I've also learned that people don't rise alone. They rise together. That's logic. And if your heart's been aching for hope, this message will speak to it. That's pathos. So if you find even one sentence that touches you, let it be a sign to stay connected. Now, let's begin. They call you a loser, don't they? Maybe not out loud, but in their eyes, in their silence, in the way they overlook you. And maybe, just maybe, you started to believe them. But let me tell you something, losing is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your awakening. It is the moment the world presses you down so hard, you have no choice but to rise. The people who've never struggled will never understand the depth of your strength. And that's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to become undeniable. There are moments when it feels like everyone else is moving forward, and you're stuck in quicksand. Like you're screaming inside a glass box and no one can hear you. You wake up tired, you go to bed drained, and in between is a war that no one else sees. Sats. But here's what you need to know. The fact that you are still breathing means you are still capable. The world doesn't reward the loudest or the most perfect. It rewards the most persistent. And you, my friend, have the raw material to build something unshakable. Don't let failure define you. Let it refine you. Every loss you've experienced wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Preparation for a level of strength that can't be faked. A level of empathy that can't be taught. A level of grit that only comes when you've been crushed but not destroyed. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being shaped into someone who can withstand storms others wouldn't survive a minute in. People like to say, just stay positive. But when you've been dragged through disappointment, when you've tasted the bitterness of dreams denied, positive it feels like a joke. I won't insult your experience by telling you to smile through the pain. Instead, I'll tell you to honor it. Let your pain speak, not to break you, but to teach you. To teach you who you are beneath the surface. To teach you where your power truly lies. It's easy to feel worthless when the world values only results. When your story doesn't look like success, when your wins aren't visible, when your journey is full of stumbles, it's easy to think you don't matter. But your worth is not tied to outcomes. You matter because you exist. You matter because you've kept going. And one day, the very path you're on will become the roadmap for someone else to follow. You don't have to fake strength anymore. You don't have to pretend you're okay. Real strength isn't about pretending, it's about being honest. Honest enough to say, I'm struggling, but I'm still here. That honesty, that's bravery. That's what heroes are made of. Not the ones who always win, but the ones who refuse to quit when it would be easier to give up. The people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all. They weren't born winning. They just decided not to let losing define their identity. The truth is, losing gave them wisdom. Losing gave them fire. And it can give you the same, but only if you stop seeing it as the end and start seeing it as fuel. Maksud. There is a kind of power that comes from having nothing to prove and everything to build. That power is yours if you're willing to keep standing up. You've been judged unfairly, laughed at, ignored, maybe even betrayed by people you trusted, and that pain, it can make you bitter, or it can make you better. Every insult, every closed door, every no you've heard can become a stepping stone if you use it right. You were not meant to stay small to make others comfortable. Let their doubt become your motivation. Let their rejection light your fire. I know you've made mistakes. Maybe more than you can count. Maybe you've hurt others. Maybe you've hurt yourself. But healing starts with grace. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Not because what happened didn't matter, but because you do. You deserve a future that isn't chained to your past. Your mistakes aren't the headline of your life. They're the footnotes. The story is still being written. Even if no one believes in you, believe in yourself. Especially when no one else does. You are your own greatest ally, or your own greatest enemy. What you speak to yourself matters. Talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. Someone who's been through hell and still found a way forward. That's who you are. You are still worthy of love, of peace, of purpose. There will be nights where the silence feels too loud, where your thoughts won't stop echoing, where the weight on your chest feels unbearable. In those moments, remember this. Surviving is winning, breathing is defiance. Choosing to stay here, to keep trying, to not let go, that is the kind of strength legends are made of. Your life matters even in the quiet moments when no one's watching. Your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Stop comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Listet isn't das highlight reel. What you are building is slower, maybe messier, but more meaningful. And it will last longer. Because anything real takes time. Anyone great was once unknown. And anything worth doing requires patience. Don't wait for permission to grow. Don't wait for approval to start. Your breakthrough will never come from those who belittle your effort. It will come from the moment you decide that you are enough, even unfinished. That you don't need the world to believe in you before you take your next step. You just need to believe that your story is still unfolding. And that it's worth writing. You've cried, you've screamed, you've questioned why it had to be so hard. But in those tears, there is truth. In that scream, there is power. And in those questions, there is courage. The courage to face your life with eyes wide open. The courage to build something beautiful, even with broken pieces. The courage to begin again. So rise, not because you've never fallen, but because you have. And still, you're here. Battered maybe, tired for sure, but breathing. And that breath is proof that this isn't your ending. This is your turning point. Let them call you a loser. One day they'll call you unstoppable. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Not a sign to be perfect. Not a sign to have all the answers. But a sign to keep going anyway. You've survived every worst day of your life so far. Think about that. Every storm, every breakdown, every rock bottom moment, you made it through. And if you could survive all of that, then you are absolutely capable of building something extraordinary from the ashes. Don't look away from your reflection. Look closer. That person staring back at you has more power than they've ever been told. Let today be the day you stop apologizing for being behind, for being tired, for being human. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the voices that said you weren't enough. You are the one who stayed. You are the one who showed up, bruised, doubted, imperfect, and still tried. That effort, that courage, that silent strength inside you, that's what will carry you forward. That's what will turn the word loser into warrior, into builder, into legend. So rise, not for them, not for applause. Rise for you. For the version of you that believed for just one more day, one more try, one more heartbeat. The world hasn't seen the best of you yet, but it will. Because you're not done, you're just getting started. And if no one else says it, let me be the first to tell you, I believe in you. Keep going. The comeback is always greater than the fall.